everything right and your body is still not changing. This is for high achieving women who are consistent and still stuck. I talk to so many women every day who feel like they're doing everything they possibly can and their body's not responding. So hopefully this is enlightening. If you don't know who I am, my name is Renee Peterson. I was a former cardiac OR nurse from 2005 until 2010. And then I got into medical sales and I was in medical sales for 14 years. I started Diamond Cut Physiques with my husband in 2023 when I was on maternity leave, and I went full time into my business in September of 2024. I also did 10 bodybuilding shows. So this mission is very personal to me because I was the woman who was spinning her wheels. I dieted literally for 17 years. As you can see in the left-hand picture, I was very, very restrictive, excessive amounts of cardio. I finally got to the point where I was frustrated enough to change. They say the pain of change has to outweigh the pain of staying the same. That's when someone actually changes, and that's what happened to me. And as you can see on the right, in my 40s, I'm actually in way better shape, way more muscle, and probably a better fat to muscle ratio, to be completely honest. And now I'm able to maintain on anywhere, it depends on the day, but anywhere from like 2,100 to 2,300 calories. And my mission is to help women not just weigh less. That to me is not exciting or impressive, but to really get strong, feel confident, and just live in a body they love while eating as much food as possible, not as little. All right. So here's hopefully what you walk away. A lot of you are probably already working out and eating healthy, and you probably feel like you're spinning your wheels, and I've been there too. So, what you need to understand today is that there's 1,000% difference between working out and training. When you are training, you are trying to build muscle, and body recomposition is simply building muscle and losing body fat versus just weighing less. There's a difference between being active and just, training with enough intensity to build that muscle. And eating healthy is not the same as eating for your goal. What a strategic, sustainable approach to fat loss and muscle building actually looks like, and then a clear next step so you leave today knowing exactly what to do. So you're probably right here right now. I know exactly who you are. You feel like you have a willpower problem, but you really have an information problem. You're probably up early, pretty consistent with working out. You feel like you're putting in effort that most people don't. You've probably tried things like the Peloton classes, some of these apps, and it's not like you're slamming pizza every night. You're eating relatively healthy, but you don't feel like the results that you are getting match the effort that you're putting in. Okay. So let's talk about your body and the fact that it's not broken. When it comes to training, you need the right stimulus. So training is different than working. You need a specific program that is structured in a way that you're utilizing progressive overload, you have time under tension, and you're training within proximity to failure. So to put that in simple terms, the last three reps should be really challenging. They should be way slower than the first few reps. You also need to know what specific macros your body needs. And I feel like a lot of times I forget, people don't just automatically know what I know. And if you don't know what macros are, it's your protein, carbs, and fats. What does your body need depending on what your goals are? Another thing a lot of high achieving women forget about is sleep and recovery. It's one that is massively underrated. It's a non negotiable for building muscle. 7 hours of sleep is what is recommended. If you're going hard 6 days a week and you're not recovering, you're actually working against yourself. So your body is a system and it's going to respond to the right inputs. We just have to figure out what those are for you. And you have to remember, what does life look like on the other side? This is the big picture, what you want your clothes to fit like, whether it's how they used to fit, how you want them to fit. You've never been in shape. It really depends again on the person. Not, there's no right or wrong answer or what your goals are. Everyone has different goals, and I think people forget that. So some women, they want to feel comfortable in their clothes. Other women want a head turning physique, and it's really just a matter of knowing what does that look like for you. You've got to be able to navigate your real life, and this is something I really pride myself in, and DCP just in general, is you can't just live out of a piece of Tupperware. You have a real life, and fitness can be a part of your life. It doesn't have to be all consuming. But what does that look like for you? Eating at restaurants, vacations, and still making progress. And something that's really important is understanding your body so well that you never have to start over again. And we always talk about mindset at Diamond Cut Physiques as well, and you really have to understand your own mindset. So this was Kirsten. As you can see, she wasn't super out of shape by any means, but she felt uncomfortable. She wanted more confidence. She wanted a head turning physique. And what she was doing was waking up every day at 3:30 a.m. and working out. Things like Peloton, the Sweat app, high intensity, eating healthy. Obviously, a ton of effort. Hour and a half commute either way, three kids, doing all of the things, but her body just wasn't giving her the results that what I think she deserved. She was putting in all this effort and not getting any results. So she hired me and she lost 8 pounds of fat and built a ton of muscle, reverse dieted, and she's not huge. She's a tiny little thing, but to maintain on 1,800 calories and have abs after three kids is absolutely incredible. And she's been maintaining on her own. I'm bad with time, anywhere from 2 to 3 years, but let's just say that this girl is crushing it and she's been maintaining. She went from dreading her workouts at 3:30 in the 3:30 in the morning to just being excited to train. She was on a structured training plan 4 days, got stronger than she's ever been in her life, and now she can do 13 pull-ups. She did not give up the bourbon or the chocolate. She loves telling people that. And her words, not mine. She said, "This is the first time anything's ever worked like this for me. It felt like magic." Okay. Your current routine isn't changing your shape. So, myth one, if you're sweating, you're making progress. As much as people get offended, I got to be completely honest. The Burn boot camps, Peloton group fitness, they're not bad. You can certainly supplement with them, but they are not designed to build muscle. They are not designed to give you enough rest in between sets. A lot of times in classes, people are training to or working out to the beat of the music, or they're not resting 90 seconds to 2 minutes. And I always tell our girls, if 90 seconds or 2 minutes feels too long, you're probably not picking up heavy enough weight and training with enough intensity. So there's definitely a difference between moving your body and training your body. One burns calories, the other builds a physique. And as you build a physique, you obviously build muscle, and muscle is more metabolically active at rest, which means you can eat more. And who doesn't want that? All right. So, like we talked about at the beginning, the proximity to failure. If your last rep looks like your first rep, the weight is too light. Rep ranges are just ranges. So, if your training plan says 10 to 12, and you never see a number that is 11 or 13 or 17, you're probably not doing it right. You're probably following the range too closely because you really want to use it as a range and keep going until the last three reps are very challenging. And it's not about killing yourself. It's about giving your body a reason to adapt. If you're breezing through every rep at the same pace and the same effort, your body has zero reason to change. We always encourage clients to send videos. I videotape myself. I always have Jason look at it. So many times I look at a video and realize I am going way too fast. So tempo is another way to make sure you're progressing and it's slowing down the rep. We've all been in the gym and seen people doing those lat pull downs. All right, working out versus training. Okay, the weight selection problem. If you have been using any kind of weights for a certain amount of time and you're still using 10 to 15 pound dumbbells on your lower body, you are definitely not picking up heavy enough weights. Females are, whether you have kids or not, want them or not, doesn't matter. We're literally designed to push babies out. Our lower bodies are so much stronger than we think. Again, rest periods matter more than we think. Group fitness, boot camp, again, not to just keep throwing that under the bus, but just designed to really keep heart rate up and minimize rest. It's really cardio to some degree, not strength. So people might be getting stronger in those classes, but they're probably not getting as strong as they could. And within the first 6 months, there's probably some sort of plateau. So a lot of times you'll see women who are doing classes, they basically just look the same forever, right? If you train the way we train, you can look better. Obviously, if your nutrition is pretty dialed in, you can look better year after year after year. Again, filming yourself, if it isn't measured, it can't be managed. And quality over quantity. We give most of our clients 3 to 4 days of a structured plan. A lot of them are working out at home. Some of them are only working out with adjustable dumbbells. Those dumbbells definitely go heavy enough, but we'll show you my client Heather soon, and she looks absolutely insane. And she worked out at home in the beginning with just adjustable dumbbells and just added like an ab wheel and a pull-up bar. So speaking of Heather, here she is. She was doing everything, running, high intensity. I cannot say this Kayla chick's name, but she was doing that. She tried Whole 30. And she just had this 30 pounds that wouldn't move. She was 2 years postpartum, I believe, or maybe less than that. But super motivated. She had done all the things the fitness industry pretty much told her to do. And when she came to me, we gave her 4 home workouts. Like I said, she just had adjustable dumbbells that were relatively heavy, and she's maintaining on over 2,500 calories. So we stripped off the fat, reverse dieted her, abs after kids, better results than she's ever had. She's so funny. If you ask her, she gets really excited to talk about it because she gets compliments all the time. People are constantly stopping her when she's traveling. What are you doing? What's your routine? People always expect the answer to be something extreme, but it's really knowing what protein, fats, and carbs her body needs and training in a way that keeps as much lean mass when she's dieting and obviously building as much muscle as possible when she's maintaining. Okay, my favorite subject, eating healthy is not the same as eating for your goal. Whew. Whole foods are great. Obviously, if someone is consuming mostly whole nutrient dense foods, that's great for energy and hormones and digestion and all the things. But healthy food also has calories. Most women that start with us, the first thing we realize is they're over consuming fat. So, avocado, salmon, nuts, oils, they all have a lot of fat, and fat has more calories than carbs. Most high achieving women are under eating protein and going over those calories without really knowing it. And under eating is not ideal either. It doesn't make you leaner, it definitely makes you softer, makes you more fatigued, and it's definitely harder to train when you don't have as much fuel. So your body's not a problem to be starved. It's really, again, it's a system that's going to respond to the inputs that you give it. Okay, big one. The goal of a fat loss phase is not just to lose weight, it's to lose fat while keeping as much lean mass as possible. So if you look at the research, who maintains weight loss? Keeping that lean mass is one of the strongest predictors of whether someone keeps the weight off long term. And here's the kicker. This is what should shock everyone into the submission of the sustainable way. If you diet really hard, cut your calories, whether you're on a GLP-1 or not, you are sacrificing lean mass. If you regain the weight, it comes back on as fat, not muscle, right? You're not recovering that lean mass. So you may end up back at 150 pounds, but now you're fatter than when you started. So your 150 at your start point is going to be less fat than what you end up back at if you do something crazy. And this is why quick fixes, they never work long term. And I mean, I have no issue with being a little vain. I'm vain. But muscle is not a vanity metric. It is metabolic health and a longevity asset. Especially as we age, we all know we lose muscle and we don't want to lose our independence. Again, this is just why women on weight loss drugs, no judgment on if they're taking them. The only thing I judge is if someone is taking them and they're not training and hitting protein. So whether you're on a weight loss drug or you're not, your training and your protein matter no matter what. And it's playing a very expensive long game. Dieting is a phase, it's not a lifestyle. And for many women, myself included, I don't think most women realize that. I literally dieted, whether I was in an actual calorie deficit or not. Mentally, I was dieting for like 17 years. And I don't know about you guys, that's exhausting. Only 20% of women who lose weight keep it off. Maintenance is a range. So, total daily expenditure, it's not like, oh, I maintain on 2,100 calories every single day. If my steps are high, I trained and I'm chasing Gracie around. Obviously, my total daily expenditure is a lot higher than if I'm at home watching TV, eating bonbons, right? And so maintenance is a range, and you want to know what that range looks like for you. More muscle you have, the more food you can maintain on. The more muscle you have, the better your body utilizes carbohydrates. Post-diet strategy, very important, something we always talk about at length with our clients because the whole design of this program is obviously we do not want women to end up back where they started. We also do not want them to stay with us forever. So we're always talking about what happens after you're done dieting. This is Liz. She was a runner, eating healthy, traveled a ton for her daughter's sporting events, late 40s, and she worked at home right next to the kitchen. She was not a sedentary person. She wasn't eating unhealthy, but was running, high output with low return for the goal that she wanted. And because she was working at home, she was consistently grazing. So we pulled back on running, built a structured home training program for her, gave her macros, taught her all about that, how to navigate restaurants when she was traveling and out, social situations. She fell in love with this. You should hear her talk about it. She was stopped on a street by some young girl, came up to her and was like, I need to know what you're doing. Your muscles are popping. So we love hearing that feedback from clients, especially when they start out and they feel so frustrated. Is it hormones? Is it my age? Or maybe it's just your approach. So the diamond transformation method, we build a foundational structured resistance training program. The big thing here is meeting clients where they're at. A lot of our clients come to us working out, but have they ever really resistance trained? We give them usually 3 to 4 structured days. A lot of them work out at home. Of course, if someone wants to work out a gym, at a gym, they can. If they want to do classes as a supplement, we always talk about what that looks like. Some women, the minute you tell them the classes are absolutely not necessary, they drop them because they just don't really enjoy them. They were doing it because they thought they were going to get results. We obviously help clients lose body fat with a strategic calorie deficit. Nothing severe. We want to protect lean mass. The idea is let's diet on as much food as possible, not as little. And then we talk about exiting the diet, bringing food back up, restoring the metabolism, helping hunger hormones level out. There's metabolic adaptations that happen when you diet. So we take all of that into consideration. And then we find a range of maintenance. And most clients want to get away from weighing and tracking their food, which who can blame them? And so it's a matter of teaching them what that looks like and feels like. Most of them would like support through that. And so they practice not tracking, seeing how well they maintain, and then, they go on their way and they live their life. So, two choices. You can keep doing what you're doing, which it's hard to break up with the idea that less is more. So, it's going to be hard to break up with the mindset. I got to run. I have to go to classes. I have to work out 6 days a week. I have to eat all clean. Or you can let us show you the exact blueprint, the training, the nutrition, the mindset built for the result that you're actually chasing. If you're ready to stop spinning your wheels, you can always book a free discovery call. This is not a call where we're going to push you into joining, but it's a real conversation about where you are, where you want to be. We can look at your current routine, figure out exactly what's been holding you back, and map out a personalized plan that looks like what that looks like for you and see if it's the right fit. And of course, there's never any pressure. I always say there's two favorable outcomes. Yes, want to do this. It sounds amazing. You can also say no. So thank you guys all for attending and for your time and attention. I truly appreciate it. If there's any questions or comments, anyone have any questions or comments?
I just wanted to say this is great because I think it's so relatable, and your case studies were awesome too because they show women actually go through it. So thank you for sharing.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for joining. Any other
I
questions?
I do have a question. What would you tell someone who feels like they're doing everything right and they're like not seeing results?
So I guess my question back to them would be, what is everything? Because I will not lie to you, within literally the first 15 seconds of a discovery call, I know almost exactly what they're doing wrong and where they really need help. And I would say that's the beauty of coaching is it's so individual. It's not cookie cutter. It's having a very lengthy conversation about a client, what they've tried, why didn't it work, and helping them understand what does it really take to get the results that they want. And everyone is very, very individual. You know, you have clients who are trying everything and they want to look a certain way. They have to understand if you want certain results, you have to be willing to do certain things. And a lot of women get frustrated because there's just a gap of that knowledge and understanding of, oh, I want to look this way, but I still want to do this. And it's like, well, that's not going to work. But usually clients on those calls are very open. And once you go through the process with them, they get really excited because then they're like, wow, it sounds, I always say, I'm like, it sounds too good to be true, but it's not. So that's usually what I tell them. And they're pretty open. I would say most people are growth minds have a growth mindset on those calls because they usually get on a call because they're, at that phase where they're pretty frustrated. Yeah. Any other questions or comments? No?
I don't think I have anything else.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys. I will be sending this link out to anyone who wasn't able to attend. This will be the first of many master classes. So